Hello everyone and welcome back to WolfQuest, where we are here with our Ultimate Instinct Challenge and with Destiny and Mystery, whose names we cannot see because we are not allowed to look at our HUD. Now, ordinarily we're not allowed to look at our map either, but today is kind of going to be an exception because, as you can see, we're in the marked territory phase. So this is where we're going to be putting our den. We're going to be picking this one, and because it's going to be a nightmare to get through marked territory if we don't have the map, I am going to allow it just until we get through the end of this stage, so we won't be quite as picky about it here. But this is the one point in the story where we are allowed to use the map, mostly because it's going to take me hours to do this otherwise, and at that point that's just a time sink and frustrating more than enjoyable. So for the sake of the series being fun and entertaining, both for me to play and for you guys to watch, we are going to use the map to make sure that we're actually marking territory in a way that makes sense. Now, that's a luxury we won't have once we roll over into spring and have our pups, though, so that's one of the many challenges of this particular set of them, is that we have to just kind of hope we're marking territory in the right place and make sure we're putting our scent posts in the right area. So you can see this one we put here. We can't see how well it's marked either, so we're just gonna have to hope and pray that we're getting it right once we no longer have access to the map. But for now, we will be allowing it just to make sure that we're able to do this in the most efficient way possible. Now, I probably won't show quite as much of this because you guys have seen marked territory a million times, and it's mostly just going to be running around marking the 2 hex buffer, or most of it around that one particular den area. But we'll be back in a bit, possibly throughout, and we'll see. I'm hoping we won't have to hunt while we're here. Like, ideally not, but maybe, depending. Depending on how long this takes, we'll see. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. The one thing about this that's really challenging, even with the usage of our maps for this particular part, is that we have no idea how much energy we have left. We don't know if we're getting tired and they're going to be running out of stamina soon, although admittedly I haven't been sprinting all that much. All we can really see is that if we look, the sun is starting to go down, but we don't know how much sleep we started with, and we don't know how long it's been. This is where we're at in our marking, so we're getting there. We've got, it looks like 8 hexes marked, and we can see that we're now entering another one. So I've just been marking and then checking to make sure that I'm actually marking in the appropriate place, but we're not even going to have the luxury of doing that. We're just going to have to approximate as best as we're able to and hope we're adequately actually marking the territories. There's a good chance that we're going to miss a lot of them, and honestly, I just anticipate that we're going to have a lot of stranger wolves because we're not going to be able to maintain our territory very effectively. It might be a bit of a problem. Oh boy, there's an eagle flying around too. Eagle attacks are going to be kind of a nightmare because, hoo boy, we are not going to be able to see what's going on. We're not going to be able to see where the eagle is. We're going to lose our pups in the grass very easily. There's a high chance that some of them will end up getting lost as well because we can't see if we have all of them there. So we're just going to have to keep as best a head count on them as we're able to, and hope that none of them end up disappearing, because, whew, if they do, they might not end up coming back. Oh boy, I think we're pretty low on stamina. We're not sprinting right now, but that you can see if we do, it does not, or it didn't take us very long to start slowing down. Yeah, there we are. So we're getting pretty tired, I think. However, we've still got like 4 hexes to mark, and I think we're pretty close to being in markable territory for this next one. If we check here... Yeah, no, not quite yet. Okay, a little bit farther up ahead. Oh boy. I am a little concerned too, because you can see if we mark these hexes here, these 4 should finish it off, but this one's a 65, so there could be wolves in there. And that's not gonna be ideal if there are. Okay, we're starting to mark on this one. Let's go ahead and get that finished. We're probably pretty close to done, I think. So with that in mind, I think I'm not gonna rest until afterwards. We'll try to just straight shot it if we can. But hopefully that stamina doesn't get to be an issue. think this is our last stop, probably. Did we mark this? I can't actually tell. Hopefully we're not just moving the scent post. I think we're marking in this territory. I'm trying to mark this sliver here because I'd like to get back home quickly, but also I'm trying not to mark any territory on the other side of the river if we can help it, because I have a feeling we're just not gonna cross it, and so I don't really want to bother going over there. Yeah, okay. We are starting to wear this hex down, which is good. Yes, there we go. We've claimed it most of the way up, and I think this should be the final hex we need. So let me just finish howling, and then we'll go ahead and we'll check our quest list, which shouldn't spoil too many of the other stats, I don't think. But it should let us know if we're able to advance to the next step, and once we do that, we won't have access to the map anymore. But I'm not going to prolong this because I don't think it'd be fair to try to bulk up everything right now, and also I don't really want to run around with no stamina anyway. Yes, indeed. Here we go. Reveal 2 dens. Now, a lot of you guys have suggested different names for the pack, but the one that won out for the most part, and that I think is the most fitting, is the Instinct pack. It just seems to fit. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead to choose a den, and we're no longer allowed to use the map, not until after we have our pups. For that one brief moment. We'll count that as a new dawn because I think it's recess time of day. We'll see. In any case, it's now on us to find our way back to the den. That's a separate den. No, it's not. That's just a heap of rocks. Okay. We are to the south of McBride, so I'm pretty sure if we run around this way, we'll be able to get up to it pretty shortly here. A lot of you guys suggested picking the McBride den for this, by the way, and I did think about it. That was honestly my first choice, but I don't know. We played there with Maple, and the layout of it is funky. I don't like that it's just the narrow strip. Like, in some ways it's kind of nice, but in other ways it's not as nice. I prefer the wide open area of the den that we have over here. And this one's in a fairly recognizable area as well. Get the frick out. This is just dispersals. Go on, get out. Fortunately, they're running. And it looks like Mystery is chasing after them. I don't want you right by my den here, though. That's not what we want. In any case, we'll go ahead, we'll choose this one, because this is a fairly easy one to find here. And yes, we'll go ahead. It's a rock den. We'll have to name it. Ah, shoot, I didn't even think about what to call this place. I guess we'll just call it Rock Keep, because that's what it is. And now, we'll have our pups, but we also get to choose age perks, and thank goodness we can actually pick them for this challenge. Oh, and our injuries heal. I had forgotten we even were injured. Okay. We're definitely going to take health, because we have a -1 right now, and that's a little bit sketchy. I think we'll go ahead and we'll pick strength, too, and, maybe we don't want to take strength, actually. Because the thing is, I'm really tempted to take Fun Parent, because we won't really know when our pups are tired of socializing. I don't know. I think maybe we'll take Youthful Prowess again. We don't often take Fun Parent, but the other thing is we can only get that this year anyway, so it's not going to help us over a longer period of time to begin with, and we're also going to probably have a hard time with sick pups and competitors. Yeah, I'll go ahead and choose Health, Strength, and Youthful Prowess, I think. I think that's going to be the best for us right now. Let's go ahead and advance to age 3. And we'll have these perks for the coming year. We can't go back, that's fine. And it looks like 5 pups, okay. Starting off with 2000 as well. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. And it looks like 2 males and 3 females. Now, we're not going to be naming them right now. We're actually not going to be naming them until after the end of the series, because it's pretty likely that they'll end up looking pretty similar, and so we may have a hard time telling them apart. We're just going to have to take our best guess here, because again, we don't have access to names. Now, you can see that the sun is over there now, I'm pretty sure. I think, right? Is it behind the clouds? Yeah, it's just behind the clouds. I'm just trying to make sure it's not, like, reflecting. But, let's make sure we feed these guys. I can't see my cursor here either. I can't even see who needs food. We're just gonna have to trust that they've all stopped eating. But because technically dawn has passed, I'm gonna let us do our check here. Let's let them all out in the open. But yeah, we have no idea which of these pups are associated with which name, so it's going to be more beneficial to get them to know by their approximate looks here, and then we'll see them at the end screen and we can kind of match them up to their personalities later. So we're not actually going to do our typical pup naming. You can still send in names in the comments, but we won't be doing it until the recap video at the very, very end. So we'll see. It's not something we typically do. It'll be interesting to see how it works, but fortunately they do look pretty distinct. We have a gray one, we have kind of an off-white one, we have a kind of timbery colored one, a slightly darker brown one, and a much darker brown one. I don't even know which of these are males and which are females. Good heavens. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I forget just how little information we actually have. But let's go ahead and look at their stats here in a second. So it looks like, if any of them, 2000M is probably the runt. The others, though, I have no idea. They all need quite a bit of food, and 4.2 isn't that drastic. I guess it's 1.3 pounds smaller, so it's probably a runt. Probably, most likely a runt. As for the map, oh, it looks like some of our scent posts got washed away by the water. We might have to try to dip down here today and mark that one if we can find the hex, but we'll see. And then any updates? Oh yeah, those are the slip and slide wolves, it looks like, who were in our territory. We can kind of tell because they were hanging out here. They're older a little bit. Some of them are 5 years old already. And then we have the Junction Butte wolves, of course, we met the other day. I think that's all that we're gonna look at now. Our health is up to 95. I guess technically we didn't actually sleep. And our hunger is at 89 and mysteries is at 94. So we're not that hungry, but we should do a hunt because the pups are going to be hungry. And they're going to eat a lot of the food we have. And we're just going to have to over-regurgitate for these guys to make sure they're getting enough food. Like, it's going to be better to feed them too much than too little. It's going to be an interesting time. We're going to have to see how this goes. But for now, I'm going to let these guys eat. We'll send them back in the den and then head out and do some marking and some hunting. Oh, okay, it does give us the cooldown when we are not able to socialize anymore. That's good to know. And it did also give me the pop-up when we are not able to regurgitate for them anymore. So we get a little bit of information even with the HUD off. It does seem like they've changed some of the pop-ups. Some of you guys are telling me as well that some of the things that I thought maybe didn't work with the HUD off now do. So it does seem like they've tweaked some stuff since I tested this. So hopefully we'll never have to switch out of this mode. But we'll see. We can't regurgitate anymore. I hope these guys are not too hungry, because we're gonna go ahead, we'll send them in the den, and then we'll head out. Oh goodness, they're still so wobbly, it's so cute, but they're gonna take ages to get back in the den. Oh boy, I'm so paranoid we're gonna leave one of these guys in the open at one point or another. It's just, it feels like it's gonna happen. Hopefully we'll still see the lost pup notifications if we do have one, though. That might help us a little bit, at the very least. I'm hoping this is the hex that needed marking. I think it probably is. Okay, yes, it was. We'll put the scent post here and remark it. So that should take care of that one at least. I'm not sure where the other one is. There is a scent post over there, though, so we might just want to run by and reinforce it. And then I smelled an elk herd to the northwest, kind of this way. I think this is northwest. We don't have our compass either, but that's the north side of the map. So, yeah, I think we're going to try to go smell out that herd if we possibly can. Oh, right. The flood. That's the one bad thing about setting up here. Okay, so somewhere up here... Whoa, wait a minute. Somewhere up here there is an elk herd. But I also just smelled a carcass. I don't know how much is left on it, but if there's any sort of a reasonable amount, we probably want to go for that. There's the elk scent there. The other thing you guys have said about hunting elk, which is true, is that if you chase them for long enough, the weak elk will fall behind. And this is correct, you guys are right about that, but it's less pronounced in the autumn. However, now that it is springtime, we're going to have some very weak elk that didn't weather the winter very well. And so they'll be a lot easier to spot by just chasing and letting them fall behind and or running through the herd and seeing who turns around. But that's a little bit riskier because you do risk trample damage when you do that. So you guys are right about that. That is a trick that I do know of. It's just not quite as effective in the autumn because usually most of the elk will be healthier. They're not all healthy completely, but they're usually not as poorly off as they are in springtime. Okay. So, hello Wilbur, don't mind us. I don't know how much food is left on this carcass, but if there's any semblance of a decent amount, which it looks like there may be. Yeah, we've gotten a good 5 bites off this cumulatively at least. Okay, was that the final bit of the carcass? Yep, that was, okay. So that was 4 bites for us. That probably put us up close to 100% food, and then Mystery close to 100 as well, because I don't think he regurgitated too much. All things considered, that's probably fine. I think that's going to be okay. I think it'll be more effective than hunting today, because there is, like, it's going to be risky to, it's always going to be risky to do a hunt here. I'm also going to just pee on this while we're here. We might get chased out for it, but you know what? If we can claim territory anytime we come across a scent post that's not ours, I think that's going to be for the best. Are we going to able to take this? Probably. With enough time. It'll tell us if we get to 25% without making a scent post anyway. Are we able to claim this yet? Come on. There we go. Better to hang on to this while we have the opportunity, but after this, I think we'll just head back. Again, we're probably going to spend a fair amount of time in the series just resting because it's not prudent to waste your energy on anything you don't need to. You know, I just had a thought, and it's that I think we should take this antler back with us. If we put a bunch of antlers around points that we want to keep an eye on, they'll smell more strongly, and that won't necessarily help us if the wind changes, but it might help us find our way home in a pinch. Especially, I'm thinking if we head over those mountains at any point, that could be a little bit of an issue. That's when it's going to be harder to find our way back. We'll have to go all the way down to the river, potentially, and then circle back around. So I think let's go ahead and see if we can... There we go. Let's see if we can bring this back with us, because the stronger we can make our dens smell, the better. I mean, I guess it's maybe not the most advantageous for predators. I don't know if the game accounts for that, but... it'll be advantageous for us, and that's what counts. The other advantage of the den we've set up in is that this is a rendezvous site. It's literally right over the hill, and I remember this because we took that journey with Cassia during her very first year. She stayed at this den and went to this rendezvous. So the den is right over this hill here. That's gonna make it a lot easier to find. And if we leave these antlers laying around, then hopefully that'll improve our odds of finding this place. Let's feed these guys because they're definitely at least a little bit hungry. But I don't know how hungry they are. We'll watch to see if they stop eating. If they leave any behind, then we'll know that they're good. But overall, I think that this is going to be where we leave this off here for today, because it is getting to be about that time again. We'll let these guys eat, we'll play with them, and then we're gonna sleep because I think Destiny and Mystery are quite tired. Alright, and we have apparently socialized out here. But we'll go ahead, we'll leave this off here for today because it is getting to be about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay. Over and out.